Hello world, welcome back to cybersecurity. Today in this video we are going to see how you can parse any log file that you have, and the things that we are specifically be focusing on firstly is reading the log file. Either it's just a normal txt file or it is .log or even excel files. Then we are going to see how we can extract the required information from that log file. It can be anything like extracting the IP address or checking the number of counts when the server logs were success and the number of counts when the server logs were failure. So all of these things we are going to extract from a sample log file that I have already prepared for you on the system, and then we will see how we can generate an Excel or CSV report out of it. And we can also send that particular data in the form of email to our client. Let us suppose you are trying to parse that log file, you are running the code and then getting the output from it. And then what you need to do, you need to send that log file via email after, let's say, every 1 hour or every 2 hours. So we will have a slight look at that too. So with that said, if you are interested in this video, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. And then let's start this video with this quick intro. So first of all, let me try to show you my log file. So here is our sample server.log file. So if I try to zoom it out so that you can clearly see. So firstly, you see there are IP address. So all the lines that are present inside this log file, all of these lines are starting with an IP address. And firstly, what we were trying to do is to extract all these IP addresses. This is our first task. But even before that, you should try to think like this. This is a log file. What we should actually do in order to read this file into our Python. So let me go to this main.py file where we'll be writing our code. And I have already created a folder or a project inside my PyCharm. So here you can see I am basically using PyCharm. So I have created a project and there is this main.py file. This is the Python file that we will be writing our code on. And in that same project folder, I have this server logs.py. So inside this logs, there are going to be the log that we are going to parse. So the first thing that we are going to do is to read the file. So the first step, if I just use multi-line comment, the first step is to be reading the file. And then the second step is going to be, let me just put this comma. The second step is to extract the things that we are trying to do. So it can be like in this case we are trying to firstly extract the IP addresses. So let me just show you what are things that we will be doing in this video. So we will be extracting this IP addresses, as well as we are going to see here you can see request successful. So the total number of times the request was successful 285. The total number of times the request was failed was 182. So we are also going to parse and extract this text from this log file. So these are the three major things. So secondly, extract IP address and error and success logs. So these are the things okay. So these are the things that we are going to be looking at. So let me just fix the spelling of success. And then what we actually need to do is to convert our output in the form of a CSV or Excel. So it can be for that we are going to be requiring to use libraries like pandas and pandas to make it happen. So then save the output in CSV/Excel file. And once that is done, so if you want to add the functionality of sending the mail, what you can do, you can just simply send that file in the form of email. So the next step is basically we're going to send email. So whatever output we are going to save, instead of saving it, we can save the file into our system and then put that file as an attachment and then send it. And we can also format that particular table in the form of HTML and then send it via mail. But let's first try to see of reading the file. So here is the log file. To read it, firstly we need to open the file. So if you know nothing about it, like you really are coming from a blank background, you just know basics of Python, nothing more than that. So you need to use Google. So you can simply Google how to open a file in Python, and then there you can see some of the examples and some of things we are also going to do in this video. But for opening file, it is pretty very easy in Python. You can just say log file, or this is just the name of the variable. You can name it anything that you want, and then you can say open, and then provide the name of the file. So here the file is in the current directory of my project, so I will just simply mention the name of the file. So I will just write a double quote and I will start writing server logs, and it will auto complete it. And here we need to read the file in read only mode, because in the log file we are not going to write anything into our log file, because we have to take input from it. We don't have to edit or modify the file. So we are going to open this file in read only mode. So with this, you are now able to read the file, and every content of this log file, this entire content of the log file is now saved into our log file variable. So this is basically saved here. So if I do for log in log file and I simply print log file, then what it is going to do, it is going to print all the log file that is currently present in our directory. Sorry, the name should be log, not log file. So now if I run the code, so here you can see every content of this log file is now been displayed here. So here you can see we have successfully displayed all the contents of the file. And now what we need to do, to extract this IP address. So this IP addresses have some common format. So we know that it ranges from 0 to 255. This is basically going to be the range of IP address. So there is something known as regular expressions. So regular expression, what regular expression actually does is that it helps to match the certain patterns that we have. So in the case of IP address, you can see every IP address is going to be having 1, 2 and 3 dots. So 1, 2 and 3 dots is going to be everywhere, and this range like 40, this can range from 0 to 255. So if you don't know much about regular expression, you can just simply search like for most of the common things available out there, someone have already written the regular expressions. So if you try to learn, that is the best way. But if you are in a hurry, you can just simply Google search. So here you see I have searched it on Geeks for Geeks. So here is one way of doing it that is being displayed like digit 1 to 3. So but this is not the most reliable way, because in this case, if you write some wrong IP addresses, then it is going to extract those two. So here is the best one that will exactly match all the IP addresses. So this is just the thing that I told starting from 255, from 0 to 255, that is what it is trying to do. But if you want to learn more in depth, I will refer to other videos that have done a very good job in explaining it, and also you can go to the blogs and read it too. So now if I go to my code editor, and let me just simply close it here, go here, and for extracting the IP addresses, what we need to do, firstly let me write parse here so that it don't show error currently. And here is the pattern, pattern. So you can name this variable anything that you like, but this is the pattern for the IP addresses. So I have just simply written it, and usually it is recommended to use this R, so that this entire string is treated as a raw string, because there might be some space sequences or things like that. So this raw string handles all that. So for using a regular expression, there is a library in Python known as RE. So we need to import that. So import RE. So this will take care of using the regular expressions. So here is the pattern that we need to search in every line. And if we simply go to Geeks for Geeks, here it have already shown the way to use it. But anyway, we will simply go here. We will write IP ADD, just a short form for extracting the IP address. So now what we can do, we can simply say re.search, and this here with the help of this PyCharm you can see how you have to provide the parameters. So in search, firstly we need to provide the pattern and then the string on which we actually want to search. So search, you can just write the pattern like this and the line that we need to search. So what we are basically doing, we are iterating through line by line. So this log is going to be the particular single line that we are going through, and then here we are trying to find anything that matches this pattern. So if we simply print IP underscore address, so what it is going to do, firstly so if I explain in this, firstly it will go to this line, try to find this, because this is going to match the pattern. It will just search for this and then it will leave everything outside it. But okay, so this, if we run, it is not going to just give the text, it is also going to give from what index that text started and where it ended. So let me just simply show you what I mean. If I run it, you can see the span 0, which means it is starting from the very start and it is going till 12th. In order to just get the text that we are looking for, so in this case we are just looking for this log file, what we can do, we can simply go up here and we can write dot group. So if we just write dot group without passing any parameter and then we are trying to run the code, we are simply going to get the output that are desired. So here we have successfully extracted all the IP addresses in the form of a string, and if you need to store it for making a CSV, so for that we need to create a list that is going to hold this all IP addresses. So you can see IP address underscore IP addresses LST. You can give it pretty much any name, but just for this tutorial I am giving it the name of IP address list. And what we can do, instead of printing, we can simply append each of this into a list. So we will simply write dot append, and here if we now print IP underscore address list, and if you try to run the code, so here you can see now we have this list. So why we have created a list? Because we all, if you remember, we need to save it in the form of CSV or Excel. So it is just going to be a one single column. So for that we will give the title IP address and the column will contain the list of IP address. But let's go to our second point, so which is to extract these things like request successful and then request failed. So here how we are going to approach this is by using dot find. So if you have studied the basics of Python, you have studied about dot find method in the string that gives the starting index of the things that you have passed. So in this we can see every line is starting with request successful. So we can simply ask our Python to search where this request successful is there, and then from that we can try to slice it out here. So let's try to do that, and I will simply show you what I actually mean. So for that I will simply write success, because we are trying to get the total number of things that are present in success. So here inside the log, because log is going to be a single string, we are going to write dot find. So here it is also suggesting dot find. What we need to find inside this, you can pass the string that you are trying to look for the values. So here in this case I want to look for this request successful, and you can see there is one space. There is one space after that. So in every case, because it is a system generated log, it is coming from a code, it is not being generated from a user. So this is the format that is going to be followed most of the time, until and unless there is a change in the code or people wanted to change it. But in that case also you can make the changes to your code and you will be done with that. But here you try to understand how the things are going to work. I will simply copy it, go to here, simply paste it, and we know that after this, after request successful, after this there is this number 214, and again after that there is a space that is trying to separate the request field. So in your case it is possible, quite possible, that there is like comma everywhere separating the things, or there is a semicolon, but in this case there is just spaces. So here is one blank space here, and okay, let me just simply undo so that everything remained as it is. So okay, there are two spaces after that. So this signifies that here is the end of it. So how we are going to do? So firstly, if you come across this type of problem, what you can do, simply copy this type of string and then try to play around. So here in the PyCharm, I can simply open a terminal, or I can simply open a Python console for better understanding, and I can simply create a local variable. So let's say st is our this particular given string, and we need to find it. So we have already seen how we can find. We can say st dot find, and we can simply paste this part, because currently we are looking at just this request successful. So here, okay, not like that, I'll simply paste this. Okay, I think I have done something that I shouldn't have. Okay, so here till here we can simply pass with a space, and st.find, it returns 0, because here it is basically starting from the 0th index. So in this line, in our example, from 0th our IP address is going to start. So let me just minimize this project. So 0 is going to be the index position of this IP address, but in this case it is simply at the end. So what we can actually do, I think there is one more other way that is going to be much more faster and easier to understand too. I can simply copy this string and let me paste like this, stc is equal to this given string with the double quotes, of course. Okay, I think I should use this r, and I think there are double quotes inside this. So for this we can use single quotes and paste it so that everything is in same color. And then what we can do, we can split it on the basis of spaces. So if we split stc dot split on the basis of single space, here you can see everything is now splitted in the form of space. So if I simply try to move it here, you can see now we have successfully put this inside a single bracket. The request successful inside a single form, the request successful is going to be here, and request fail is going to be here. So if you know about the list, so this is going to be the -1, this is going to be present at the -1 index, and this is going to be present at the -2 index. So what we can do, so if I simply go to that site, so we can create a list, lst is going to be stc dot split on the basis of space. So there are multiple ways to do it. You can also do with this dot find method, and this split method is also going to work. So you have to just see which method is going to work best for you and which you are most comfortable working with. So if I now do lst of -1, it is giving -10. So let me just go and see. So here you can see this is the 10, because this is the request failed. So request failed is at this position, and then there will be this request failed, and then 214 is going to be there. So if I do lst of -4, I guess, so okay, lst of -4 is giving us this number 214. So this is going to be common across every line, because here this is going to be the in one bucket, this is -1, and I think this is -2. So let me just see quickly. So here you can see this is -1, the request failed is -2, this just empty space is -3, and this number is -4. So this is going to be common across all the code. So this is how you can simply extract it out. So if I now go to the main.py file, which is our Python code, so we came here, and for success, instead of doing it in that way, we can say, we can just create a list, and we can say logs dot split on the form of spaces, and then the failed, failed, failed is going to be in the form of lst of -1, and here you can see these are the numbers. So what we can also do, if let's suppose we all want to count or sum up all the errors that we have got and all the success we have got, we can simply typecast it into the form of an integer so that our calculations can become much more easier. So by taking the variable alongside, we are also going to typecast it into int, because we know that it is going to be integer. And success is also going to be the int lst of -2. Sorry, not -2, -4, because -4 was the field. So now if I do print, and I can use just simply f string just for printing success. So success, in this curly bracket we can pass this our variable success, and if failed we can simply pass the next variable failed. And if I now run this code, let's see what it is going to print. So here you can see success 214. So if I simply zoom, success 214, and if you can match it with our file success 214, the field is the 10, then 46, 181, and things like that. So either you can simply store inside a single variable like we have done, but if we need to create a CSV file or Excel file, we need to save it inside the list. We can keep on appending list, and then we can simply perform other calculations too. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to append this inside a list. So I'll create the list above, failed list is equal to list, and then also firstly let me put it down success, no, not like that, and then there is this success underscore lst. So there are two ways you can do. You can either first save into the variable and then dump it inside the list, or you can simply dump it directly. So failed list, so instead of writing like this, we can just put it inside a bracket, use append, paste the name with a dot, and this field will be appended to this list. And then this success list, I'll write like this. Firstly, put it inside the bracket, paste it, dot append, and we are good to go. And now of course this print statement won't work because now we don't have any variables named success and field. So this is how you can simply save it in the form of list. But now what? Now, as I have seen, I have basically told you we have to save it in the form of a CSV file or an Excel file, so that we can simply send it, or we can also perform some other calculations based on that. So what we are going to do, we are going to use pandas. So I am simply going to import so I have simply imported pandas, and I think it is giving error. So I'll simply install the package. So here I have seen successfully installed pandas. So now it's the color is fixed. So now we need to simply create a data frame. So we say df is equal to pd dot data frame. So if you have no idea how to create a data frame or what actually data frame is, so data frame is nothing but it is a type of Excel view that we are currently going to see inside the Python. So you can simply search, if you don't have any idea how to create a data frame in Python, how to create a data frame with list in Python and things like that, and you will keep on learning new things. So but here we can simply say this and columns. So here firstly we are going to save the IP addresses. Next column we are going to save the total number of failed and as total number of success and then failed. So what we can do, we can simply say IP address, then after this we have to put comma success and then failed. So just by writing this code, if you are trying to imagine in Excel form, there are just the columns name given, but now we need to give this put the value inside this columns. So what we can simply do, we can simply say df is equal df of this particular IP address. So inside this df IP addresses, please insert this value. Please insert what we need to insert, our list of IP addresses. This is basically present here, so we will simply paste it here, and df of success, it is basically going to be success list, and df of failed is basically going to be a failed list. So now let me import pretty printer. So pprint is nothing but it is able to display more complex data structure in the form of normal table or normal display. So you will see pprint df. So if I now run this, so here you can see, so if we were using just print, it will just simply show that it is an object. But if we are using pprint, that is pretty print, it just simply displays the content in a nice and prettified way, as you can see. So here you can see, here we have this list, IP address, success and failed. So it contains, for this IP addresses, their total success rate is this, and total fails are this. But if you also want to add something like this, total, total, but for this IP address the total won't make any sense, but for this success and this failed, it will. So just I'm letting you know how you can simply add this. So for total, so total fail is equal to sum of failed list, and then total of success. I think the spelling is mistake every time I write. So total of success is sum of success list. So it will just simply sum all this number in the failed as well as in success, but you also need to add this into your list. So for that, what you can do, so there are multiple of ways. So what we can do, if I simply cut it out here, and here we paste it, you can simply append the result to the end. So the sum will be displayed at the end in both of them, and you can append the title total in the IP address, because in the IP address the total will be written and the success and failed will be written. So let me show you what I mean. So in IP address list, you will append IP address dot append. So dot append, what actually it does, it adds things at the very end. So here it will just add total. So so here the total will be displayed, and then in the success we can append the sum of some success, and in failed we can append the sum of failed. So here what we will do, so here we can simply write the success list dot append total success, and in the failed list we can append failed list. No, total failed. So like this. So now if I run the code, so here you can see, so now here you can clearly see how the output is basically going to be looking. So here are the IP addresses. What we did, we added at the end of the IP addresses the total. So here are total, and then total successes. So total success is 2981 and failed is 3816. So this is how you can simply parse the file from. You can simply parse the file from. You can. So this is how easily you can parse the files from a log file, and there are multiple of things that you can do. So for that you can either use the find method, or if it is going to be some common task like finding dates and like IP addresses or things like that, you can also use complex regex query. And if you know regex, it is well and good, but if you are just familiar with the regex, because it is not super easy to study regex, I will be just very clear with that. So you can simply search the regex expression for that particular thing, and if it is commonly used, you will find the solution on the internet. And then also one thing is left is basically firstly saving the file. So in Python, if you have the data frame, you can just say df dot to. So here are different type of formats that you can save in. If you want to save in .csv, use .csv. If you want to save in Excel, you can use .excel. So for this case, I'm just writing .csv and say output.csv. And here one important thing you have to mention, index is equal to false. So here in this example, you can see this indexing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you don't want it to be displayed in your file, you can simply use index is equal to false. So in that way it will not show you this indexes. So if I click here, you can simply see like here is the .csv file, and here we have everything like that. So this is it for this video. I would also have loved showing you this method of sending the mail, but it will take time, and this video have already gone quite a bit lengthy. So if you want me to create a video on sending it in a proper format with a different coloring, this entire this entire table should be sent in the form of email, not as an attachment, not just simply attach the CSV file and send it in the mail, but rather put this in the form of a table in the form of HTML using Python to send the email. So if you want to have a look at that, you can please let me know by commenting down below. And this is it for this video. And if you have loved it, please make sure to like the video, and thanks for watching. I will meet you in the next one.